Hello everyone, I am talking to you today about a archiving tip that I saw earlier this week somewhere on Facebook in one of my groups that I was not aware of. And I think it's super important because especially for those people that are using QuickBooks Online and using the attach documents feature, you really have no easy way of maintaining a backup of those documents without keeping some sort of separate database of documentation. And as much as we like to think that QuickBooks Online will forever be around and will ever be accessible, there are times when, sometimes the system is down and you need access to something, or maybe you're changing systems, or maybe it's just year end and it's time to have a good practice of keeping things archived and clean. So what I learned was that there's the ability to export all of your documents at once from QuickBooks Online so that you can maintain a backup of those files, which means you should not have to keep those files in some other type of database or some other file storage system. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about QuickBooks Online and a little bit about how QuickBooks Desktop attachment works. So if you want to learn how to attach documents inside of QBO or inside of QuickBooks Desktop, I did some videos on that back on October 22nd of 2020, and so you can go back and watch those videos. So this, we're just going to talk about how to make an archive of those. So if you have a file that you've been attaching documents to, in order to export those documents, you're going to go to the Document Center. And within QuickBooks Online, it's called Attachments. So you go up to the gear and you choose Attachments. And here you will see all of your individual documents that have been attached. And here's where you could download them individually, but there is this action called Batch Actions. So if you select the Select All button and choose Batch Actions and Export, they're going to export all of your documents. And it's going to save it into a zip file that you can then save to whatever part of your system that is getting backed up on a regular basis. So if you make this a part of a regular process in your system, you will be able to actually have these backups available to you in case anything should happen to your system. And so here we have it right here sitting in our download file, and we would then be able to save that to wherever we want to save it. So in addition, you can back up, if you wanted to, the attachments within a QuickBooks desktop file. And what's different about QuickBooks attachments inside a desktop file is that QuickBooks actually creates a separate folder that puts all of your attachments into. And this folder is located in the same drive as where you would find your company file. And so if you were to hit Control and the number 1 right here, right in the middle of this screen, you'll be able to see exactly where your file is located on your computer. And if you follow that in your desktop Explorer, I've navigated to it here, what it said. And what you come into when you get into your QuickBooks 2020 is where I've got all my 2020 files. And that is where my sample product or service-based business is. Inside that, if you have any documents that have attachments, they will be in here with the name of your business, and you will have under Inbox, you would have all of your attachments. And these would retain whatever name you gave them. So you could make a backup of this folder if that made you more comfortable, so that you would also have this attachments in case anything happened. But it lives exactly where your QuickBooks data file lives. So if you already have a backup system that is backing up your QuickBooks data file every night, you want to make sure it's capturing the folder that's called Attach. And that way you are capturing all of those. So here we can see that there's where they live, and within QuickBooks Desktop, you can see them by going to your Document Center, and here they are inside of Desktop. If they were attached to a particular invoice or vendor or employee or any of those, that would be listed here too. But those files themselves are in a separate folder called Attach. So make sure that's included in your backup plan. So two, great suggestions here is to make sure that you are backing up your attachment file, your attach folder for Desktop, and that you're periodically exporting your attachments out of QuickBooks Online. I think that's a good process to think about at year end, especially maybe around the time if you know that your accountant's going to be working on your data and the year is really wrapping up, then it's probably a good time to make that archive, and that way you're safe and sound from being, so that you can always find those documents if you needed to in the future. All right, everybody, have a great week, and I hope to talk to you next week. Thanks.